the 3-minute warning.
The show where we take 5 of the hottest topics in all of sports and break them down in 3 minutes or less. With you as always, I'm one of your hosts, Michael Medina, and with my good buddy, David Griffin.
And we also have Stephen Fox up in the booth, our producer, making it happen. Say hi, Stephen.
What's up, guys?
So we're going to get right into it today. We talk about some NCAA basketball, not the tournament precisely, but something relating to the tournament. And Coach John Calipari from the Kentucky Wildcats, guys are making it happen.
Yep.
Undefeated so far. West Virginia,
like an NBA team.
almost like
Close
an NBA team. They have West Virginia coming up in the Sweet 16. West Virginia thinks they can knock them out. I don't know about that. I don't think that can happen.
They're talking that, and rightfully so. They should. You got to go in there confident. You got to go in there thinking you can beat the best, right? I don't think it's going to happen, but good for them.
West Virginia's got a great press. They do a nice full-court press. They're going to be pressing Kentucky, going after them hard. It's going to be tough for them to do. It's going to be tough for them to come. But maybe Calipari has his attention set somewhere else. Maybe the NBA, perhaps.
I don't know, man. I don't know about this.
NBA.
It's not like he hasn't tried before. He just didn't succeed at it,
So the report that's coming out now is that Calipari has, at least the front office has said, that they want, he's looking at maybe going to an NBA team. Possibly he'd like to coach LeBron. He's done this in the past. He was at the New Jersey Nets back in the day, maybe for like 2.5 years. Didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of his
I think it's unnecessary. I mean, he had his chance in the NBA, but you know what? NCAA and NBA, it's like apples and oranges. You can't really compare the two. They're so different. It's a completely different level. He's had his chance in the NBA, but he's done so well and so much better in the college ranks. Why would you want to leave that?
Yeah, I mean, why is the transition, do you think, Michael, so hard? I mean, you have coaches, some coaches have stayed behind.
Yeah.
You have, Coach K has never made the move. But for Coach Calipari, Rick Pitino, those guys, why do you, and of course, always send your comments to us, #3MW with the stream.tv here. Let us know what you think. Why is the transition so hard?
I don't know, it's interesting because we talk a lot about this as well. It's like we joke around about how it seems to be so fundamental in college basketball, all about defense. Defense. Plus you got young kids that are hungry, they're eager to learn, eager to impress. They're going to do whatever their coach, especially if they go to a team like Duke with a Coach K that they respect, they look up to. You go into the NBA, these guys are grown men.
Right.
This is a job.
Right.
This is not something fun. They're not trying to, if anything, they're trying to play for contracts if they're in a contract here, but this is their job. So these guys, like you go to LeBron, for example, you can't really coach LeBron. LeBron's been here for over 10 years now. He's got himself a couple championships. He's damn near a coach himself.
And when you see, there was a good sports documentary a while back about Kobe Bryant, like Kobe doing work. And you could see Kobe and Phil Jackson in the videotape room, in the locker room, just watching tape, going over plays. And Kobe was basically telling Phil, what he thought the team should do. And you can see Phil, it's actually a good idea. Or you see LeBron coaching the guys. That's funny, when in the NBA, when they take timeouts, it's different. The NBA take timeouts. You see, basically the players talking to each other.
Yeah.
The coach may have a play or two. When you go to college, the players are all looking at the coach.
Absolutely. You do exactly what the coach says.
Yeah, because they're like students.
Doing that little, reverse stuff.
Coach
You
K
don't do that with
you don't
Coach
do
K.
that. In the NBA, you can probably get away with it. They might not bench you, but Coach K is going to bench you.
Absolutely.
You just can't do that. What level of school would you like to prefer to coach at if you had a choice?
If I got to coach, it's got to be college. So the kids I know actually listen to. I wouldn't have to worry about any divas.
Right, less divas. I would say college, too. College seems like more fun. NBA, you have to have a special mindset. I think that's why Phil Jackson, those guys are very good. They're almost like overseers.
Yes. That's really kind of what
whereas
a
college coach has to get every little detail. I feel like a pro is more like you're an overseer. You just have to just make sure these guys don't kill each other.
Almost like a babysitter.
It's like a babysitter. Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough decision. I don't know about Coach Calipari. He needs to focus on West Virginia.
He's doing good
right now.
Not
talking about coaching LeBron.
Right.
LeBron's got his own coach.
He's got himself.
He's got himself. Oh, we got the buzzer here. All right, nice. So we're going to go to some MLB, Major League Baseball, specifically the Chicago Cubs. There's a rift between general manager Theo Epstein and the mega agent Scott Boras on this young guy, some are calling the preseason Babe Ruth, Chris Bryant. This is Michael's a big Chicago Cubs fan.
Yes, I am.
He's very happy.
I could not be more excited. So
who is Chris Bryant?
Chris Bryant was the second overall pick in the draft by the Cubs, and he's damn near the greatest thing to happen in Chicago since sliced bread, it seems like. You know what I mean? Because he's just exciting to watch. There's so much talent, so much potential for this guy. I, as a Cubs fan, am so excited. And, I mean, right now we've got, so many top prospects, so there's a lot to be excited about, but he's definitely one of those guys.
9 Cactus League home runs.
Yeah, and these aren't little dinkers, mind you. These are Mickey Mantle-type blasts. I mean, he's crushing it.
So there's this whole thing about, let's talk a little business. Epstein and Boras is not happy with his decision to. Basically, they're not going to let him play.
Yeah.
They're not going to let him play they're going to delay about a week or two.
It's going to be roughly about 12 days. So
Yeah.
he'll be missing about 9 games. And the reason why they do this is if you play 6 years, you'll earn free agency. If they can delay that and send him back down and not call him up for a good 12 days, again, he'll miss 9 games, they'll earn an extra year. So then I believe it'll be like, until he's like, I want to say like 27 or 28 or something like
Right.
that. So it's like, it's kind of weird. So if like business-wise, if you're the Chicago Cubs, you're going to want to gain that extra year. So if it means sending him down, they'll do that.
He'll still get paid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna make big money. The Cubs have been kind of struggling over. I mean, the Cubs, in the World Series, a century?
Over 100 years.
100 years,
without a
been a
championship.
long time. So, what is it with the Cubs? They spend money. They have talent, obviously. So why can't they? Is it the coaching? Is it the manager? What is this with the Cubs?
It's weird. It's a little bit of everything. It's one of those franchises and stuff. Like you look at the front office, guys just making mistakes, signing guys to boneheaded contracts, whatever. Guys just don't pan out. You know what I mean? It's just the way it works sometimes.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be the Yankees, I guess.
So are you optimistic? We're almost there. April 5th, Easter Sunday. Opening night, and the opening day is April 6th. You got the Cubs in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
At Wrigley.
I'm excited.
That's big.
I'm realistic though. I don't expect us to win. No Back to the Future 2 winning the World Series this year. I'd be happy with a team that can at least compete.
This is the year the Cubs are supposed to win. If you're a Back to the Future fan, this is the year it's supposed to happen. 2015. We're going to see what's going to happen. Let's move on. We're going to reach out that clock. Going to go to some NBA. Talk about some Kevin Love.
Yeah.
A little controversy in Cleveland. Kevin Love was on Dan Patrick's show a little while ago talking about his pick for the MVP, and he picked his UCLA former teammate, Russell Westbrook, as opposed to his current teammate, LeBron James.
Yeah. Drama.
Maybe this is more drama, than we're making it out to be. But I mean, do you think if you're interviewed, would you pick your teammate, or would you pick the person you actually believe should win?
I think realistic in the NBA, they're all professionals. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not high school. You're not trying to like pad somebody's ego, even though there are a lot of guys that are ego-driven in the NBA. You know what I mean? LeBron's proven himself. He's got 4 MVPs already. It's like I'm sure LeBron is fine with him not calling him or saying he should be like the MVP. If anything, it should be Steph Curry, not Westbrook.
Yeah, it's so tough because it's so geared towards points, wins, and Steph Curry. The thing with Steph Curry is because their team is so good, he doesn't need to be the man every night.
Yeah.
We have these other guys like the big guy Davis on the Pelicans. You have James Harden in Houston. Those guys have to be the men every single night. Got to be the man that night. So they have to score. I mean, Harden's put up 40 points. Westbrook's getting triple doubles. Some of them taken away. I mean, those guys have to be the men every single night.
Yes.
So I think those guys, the stats look different. That's the whole most valuable player thing. So skewed.
Yeah.
Because the most valuable player is not always the most valuable player. It's the guy who scores the most points.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
So I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about the importance of friendship on the team.
Yeah.
Talk about the Bulls, some of the great dynasties, the Celtics. These guys weren't all friends.
No,
necessarily.
not at all. And like I said, this is a job. You
Right.
know what I mean? You don't have to always like your coworkers, but you have to get along with them enough to do the job.
Right.
That's all that matters. You don't have to have drinks after the game or whatever.
Right.
As long as you do what you got to do on the court, that's all that matters.
Because I think this is whole talk about Kevin Love, will he be a Cavalier next year? He will actually be a free agent of sorts after this. He can opt out, basically, if he wants to. He would get more money if he came back. I have a feeling it has to do with how they do in the playoffs. I think if they do great in the playoffs, they go to the finals. I can't see Kevin Love leaving. Where else would he go if they make it to the finals? I think he's going to stay.
Minnesota.
Yeah, he's got
He's not
Kyrie
going.
and LeBron, who
Yeah.
still seemingly looks healthy. I think you think he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay again, but you never know. I mean, money talks, bullshit
Yeah,
walks.
right, yeah, that's
So
true.
you never know. I mean,
True.
there are a ton of other teams out there that could use his talents. So I don't know, but yeah, I think he's going to stay.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Love's doing his thing. LeBron says, look, he's a grown man. He can make his own decisions. He doesn't care. I mean, those are all good MVP picks.
Yeah,
Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
Media loves stuff like this. A lot of rifts and stuff. You look at the Bulls; they were not perfect. You look at the Yankees of I believe the late '70s with Reggie Jackson. They had all kinds of drama and stuff,
Right.
but they still won a couple of championships. So yeah, it's
Bulls won 6.
yeah.
1-6,
That
3-3.
did happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's big. So we're going to reset the clock, go to the next topic. Moving fast here today. Got some NFL, more NFL news. The owners' meeting is still going on in Phoenix. Always a lot of talk there. We'll talk about some more trade rumors. This Drew Brees rumor's been going on for about a week now, but it just doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't.
Every day it seems like there's kind of a new story, I mean, I don't know. Drew Brees, I just can't see him not in the Saints uniform.
It's weird, but you know what? I could see it though at the same time because again, you look at somebody. Now, granted, he was kind of pushed out, but like Peyton Manning, going to Denver and stuff. Right now, I mean, they took Jimmy Graham, one of his biggest weapons, away from him. You know what I mean? The Saints just seem like a team that's trying to rebuild right now.
Yeah, maybe Sean Payton and their relationship, maybe it's done. They've gone as far as they can.
I mean, Drew Brees has done a number of great things for that city and great things for that team in general. But, yeah, I think he wants to win. He's getting later in his career. He's got a championship already, so it's not like he doesn't have that. But I think he wants to go out on top. I think he wants to play with a team that at least get one more shot, at getting up there. So it's just a matter of who he goes to if he does go.
And Drew Brees is always one of those quarterbacks I think everybody likes. You see him and his wife. Him and his wife are doing philanthropy and helping people out in the New Orleans area, especially after the hurricane. And he seems like a really good guy.
Absolutely.
I like Drew Brees.
He's a good leader as well. So he's definitely a guy you want to follow to battle.
So if you're in the NFL and these rumors are all over the place, and maybe they're true, who knows what's going on in the office there, where do you think Drew Brees would fit the best, like in terms of what kind of offense?
Well, that's interesting. He obviously needs to go to a team that desperately needs a quarterback, but there are a ton of teams that need a quarterback. If he goes somewhere, it's going to be a team that needs a quarterback but has a chance at winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know you're a Buffalo fan. That's a team that they're building. They're doing
Brees,
things
come to
in
Buffalo. Come on to Buffalo. We'll take it.
And that's one thing they need. They need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if EJ is the answer. I'd like to think Chicago is an alternative, to New Orleans, because Cutler hasn't really cut it out. You know what I mean? And we have enough, weapons in Chicago that he could do stuff with. You look at a team like the Jets are the Jets, but they're trying to do something there. I don't think they're going to win anytime soon, but that's a team that maybe. I don't think he'd fit into Chip Kelly's offense.
No, I think he'd be really good in San Francisco.
That's true.
Because they have that kind of fast-paced, offense that moves. I don't know if it's called a spread, but they do move the ball a lot. Great offense. I mean, get Kaepernick out. Kaepernick's really inconsistent. He had that one good year.
Yeah.
He's been kind of struggling. So I think Drew Brees, get rid of Kaepernick, get rid of that contract, and get Drew Brees in San Francisco.
That's another interesting team in San Francisco. That's a team that they're kind of picking apart right now too, with Patrick Willis retiring, and we talked about the young guy. What was his name? Borland, I believe. Retired. So that's a team that's just kind of shaking things up a bit. But
so news about the NFL and bringing a team to LA. Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, one of the biggest names besides Jerry Jones, maybe the biggest name in the ownership, has said that there will be 2 teams in LA by 2016.
That's crazy.
But where are they going to play?
That's the question. First of all, I mean, that's just next year. So he's talking about already having not one, but 2 teams by next year. That's incredible. Where are they going to play? That's interesting because it's going to take you done. Couple more years for a stadium.
Couple more teams. We got time. Maybe Pasadena, maybe the Coliseum near USC. So we're going to go into some soccer talk now, specifically the Champions League, UEFA Champions League. We are in the round of 8, the Elite 8.
Yep.
They don't call it the Elite 8. That's college basketball. But that's okay. It's the Elite 8.
We can use that.
We can use that term. Quarterfinals are here. Some big matchups, some big knockoffs. Chelsea's gone. Arsenal's gone. Man City's gone. All the British teams are out. Premier Leagues are gone. They stink. Just Germany, Portugal, and Spain, basically, left. That's
one
it.
French team.
One French team. Can't forget Paris. So let's talk about the best quarterfinal matchups. Michael, I'm going to start with mine. I really like Atletico and Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That is a rematch of the finals. Of last year's finals, which Real Madrid did win. It's a great matchup. It's an in-town. It's like if the Cubs and the White Sox were in the World Series, or if the Angels and the something like that. It's one of those kind of matchups.
I feel like those guys have played each other a lot in meaningful games
know each
the last
other.
couple of years, so they know each other well. It's going to be good.
I think,
for me, I'm going to go PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and Barcelona. 2 matchups. They beat Chelsea, a good, strong Chelsea team. They took them out, and so seeing Barcelona right now with those they're big 3.
Big win in El Clasico this past week. Big win.
Big win. So that's my matchup. That's gonna be exciting.
That's a good one. I talk about upsets. I really like Porto against Bayern.
Oh wow.
So Bayern in the last round had a little bit of a scare. They went 0-0 in their first match, and they went like 7-1, just tore it up. But I think that Porto, who won 4-0 against Basel, I think that's how you pronounce it. I like Porto. They have Casemiro. They have Danilo. If you play FIFA, I always get Danilo because he just levels up to 90. The guy's always good. I know we shouldn't base sports performance on video games,
Some
but
tricks of the trade right there.
Yeah, but Danilo is a good player. Danilo is a good player. Casemiro. They got some former Barcelona players on that team. That's a good team.
The Bayern in the Bundesliga, I feel like they're running away with that league right now. I'm not saying that they haven't had any kind of competition, but it's like their biggest competition this year seems to be what they're going to come across in Champions League.
Because last year, Real whooped them.
Yeah,
at Bayern.
It was
at the Allianz Arena.
Yeah.
In Munich. Yeah, Munich.
My team would be actually Atletico and Real, just simply because of the fact that Real hasn't been looking very dominant of
All
late.
that talent.
Yeah, and Atletico, a good team, but they're not a Barcelona. They're not Real, even though they had an amazing year last year. But Diego Simone, I believe, just recently signed an extension.
Yeah.
So he's not going away anytime soon. But that's my matchup. That's my upset right there.
Who do you see? Let's talk about winning it all. Who's going to win that beautiful, huge cup that you win at the end of the tournament?
I'm going to say Barcelona. I'm going to go Barcelona simply because of the fact that I'm not saying that they're going to be the best team, but I think right now they're the most dangerous because that big three is really coming along together quite nicely of late. They're starting to click, and they're clicking at the right time. This is when you want to do it. So I'm going to go. It's going to be tough. It's going to be great matches, but I think it's going to be Barcelona.
Barcelona says it. I am going to go. I'm going to go with Atletico Madrid.
Ooh.
I don't know. I feel it. I'm Atletico Madrid. So let us know what you think. Who would you want to pick? Hashtag 3MW with the stream.tv. 3-minute warning. Let us know what you think. That's our show for today. Thank you for watching. Last Night On is coming up next on the stream.tv. I am David Griffin. You can find me on Twitter at GriffinDE.
And I'm Michael Medina. You can also find me on Twitter at Mr. Michael Alexis. And you can find David and myself right here on the stream.tv on the Arrow After Show.
We will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about some more sports on 3-minute warning.